growing up without a father can permanently alter the brain, thus fatherless children are more likely to grow up angry and turn to drugs. Canadian scientists believe growing up in a fatherless household could have a greater impact on daughters and on sons. They said growing up without a father could permanently alter the structure of the brain and produce children who are more aggressive. Dr. Gabriella Gobbi of McGill University in Canada said that the main impacts were seen in the prefrontal cortex. Growing up without a father could permanently alter the structure of the brain and produce children who are more aggressive and angry. Scientists have warned children brought up only by a single mother have a higher risk of developing deviant behavior, including drug abuse. More research suggests it is also feared that growing up in a fatherless household could have a greater impact on daughters and on sons. More than 1 million children in the UK currently have no contact with their father while they are growing up, a figure that is growing by 20,000 a year. Dr. Gabriella Gobbi, who carried out the research with colleagues at the medical faculty at McGill University in Canada, said, "This is the first time research findings have shown that paternal deprivation during development affects the neurobiology of the offspring." The research, which was carried out on mice, compared the social behavior and brain anatomy of youngsters with two parents to those growing up with mothers alone. The team said the findings had direct relevance to human society. They used California mice, which, like humans, are monogamous, and raise their offspring together. Francis Bombico, of the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto, who also worked on the project, said, "Because we can control their environment, we can equalize factors that differ between them. Children brought up only by a single mother have a higher risk of developing deviant behavior, including drug abuse," more research suggests. Previous studies have said girls in particular have been shown to be at risk for substance abuse. My studies in the laboratory may therefore be clearer to interpret than human ones, where it is impossible to control all the influences during development. The brains of the fatherless mice develop differently, Dr. Gobbi said, with the main impacts seen in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain which controls social and cognitive activity. The study, published in the journal Cerebral Cortex, found that those mice raised without a father displayed signs of abnormal social interactions and were far more aggressive than mice raised with both parents. The difference was far more pronounced in daughters than in sons, and females raised without fathers also had a greater sensitivity to the stimulant drug amphetamine. Growing up without a father could permanently alter the structure of the brain and produce children who are more aggressive and angry, scientists said. Dr. Gobbi said, "The behavioral deficits we observed are consistent with human studies of children raised without a father. These children have been shown to have an increased risk for deviant behavior, and in particular, girls have been shown to be at risk for substance abuse. This suggests that these mice are a good model for understanding how these effects arise in humans." The report said the behavior of the mice was consistent with studies in children raised without a father, highlighting an increased risk for deviant behavior and criminal activity, substance abuse, impoverished educational performance, and mental illness. Does that sound like online pseudoskeptics? The report added, "Our results emphasize the importance of the father during critical neurodevelopmental periods, and that father absence induces impairments in social behavior that persist to adulthood." Dr. Gobbi said, "The results suggested both parents are vital for children's mental health development, and hoped the findings would spur researchers to look more deeply into the role of fathers." Dr. Gobbi said, "The behavioral deficits we observed are consistent with human studies of children raised without a father. These children have been shown to have an increased risk for deviant behavior, and in particular, girls have been shown to be at risk for substance abuse. This is hard science replicating in animals what was thought, what was seen, to occur in fatherless children, in great numbers in many studies. It lends great solidity to the observations of the Queensland teachers at Logan School, who noted father deficiency in underachieving, illiterate school kids." Video following this one, in this playlist, by introducing a novelty teacher, namely a magician, who was immediately adopted as a much-needed father figure. Surprising improvements in literacy occurred in a short time. Students reported they could focus and concentrate and calm their racing angry minds because of the magician, the father figure. And the school teachers via regular testing saw improved literacy results over 8 weeks, which had been caused by father deficiency at home. By simply looking sideways, we can see this aggressive illiterate behavior in most pseudoskeptics online. The parallel is striking. Furthermore, James Randi himself is continually aggressive and angry, written by Carl Sagan, and James Randi, leader of the pseudoskeptic movement militating out of CSICOP since 1976, claiming he wants to combat irrational superstition, code for religion, and complaining that early in a video about his own Father Deficiency, only ever had one conversation with his father. He says, James Randi pictured, confessed Father Deficient, Piper. Of the Father Deficient pseudoskeptics, many hundreds of Father Deficient pseudoskeptics queue up to comment on Randi's Militant Atheist YouTube channel, addressing him as Father, Jesus, God, leaving salutations that are clearly heartfelt. Obviously Randi is adopted as a surrogate father, providing some small relief, but the James Randi pseudoskeptic movement, Nazi brown-shirted neo-Darwinist head-kickers of Christians, all over the net, forever crudely posing as scientists and rationalists, is actually a support group for many Father-deficient people, mostly under-functioning men, something like Alcoholics Anonymous, their chosen self-help therapy of head-kicking Christians and proponents of telepathy. Doesn't improve their life at all, but there is no other therapy for them. The study revealing the vital function of fathers in brain development of children rebuts the gay marriage advocates, who wrongly insist children can be raised by any old kind of parent or parents, as long as there is lots of love, and indicates that same-sex parents will likely produce more of the same tragic brain defects in juvenile delinquent children, as verified in this study. And gay marriage parenting will likely produce a lot more agro-dysfunctional pseudoskeptics, head-kicking Christians, generations of them, compounding the social disaster that the psyop, that is CSICOP, harnesses and radicalizes to advance the more deeply concealed agenda of pedophilia legalization, such as lowering the age of consent to 13, and thus removing any legal recourse by parents to protect their children from pedophiles. Just give it some thought, people. Scientists, Dawkins, and Krauss always apologizing for pedophilia. Why? Now, although it seems a very masterly manipulative scheme over 40 years, since 1976, to harness the many thousands of James Randi, barefoot volunteer, Father Deficient, brain-damaged angry malcontents, to advance a more deeply concealed, socio-political agenda of legalizing pedophilia, it has failed. And failed badly, hopelessly. But that is the next video. Just a reminder, one more time, about the online pseudoskeptics, how many are made. The study, published in the journal Cerebral Cortex, found that those mice raised without a father displayed signs of abnormal social interactions and were far more aggressive than mice raised with both parents. The difference was far more pronounced in daughters, and sons, and females raised without fathers also had a greater sensitivity to the stimulant drug amphetamine.